In this lesson, we will explore why models are essential for planning, examine the Harrod Domar and Solow models, and analyze their application to Nigeria's economic history. Greetings, everyone. Today, we begin our exploration of planning models. Before diving into the technical details, let's pause and ask, why do models matter in economic planning? Economic planning is the deliberate allocation of scarce resources. Think of models as maps. A map is not the territory, but without it, navigating is chaotic. Models guide policymakers through complex economic terrain. Take Nigeria's Vision 202020. The ambition was to place Nigeria among the world's top 20 economies by 2020. That vision relied heavily on aggregate growth projections. But in 2026, Nigeria's economy remains at about $500 billion, far below the 20th ranked economy. This underscores the gap between aspiration and reality. The Harrod Domar model is one of the earliest frameworks used in development planning. It argues that growth depends on the savings rate S and the capital output ratio K. The formula is simple. Growth rate equals savings rate divided by the capital output ratio. A low capital output ratio means more productive use of capital. Let's apply this to a specific case. If we have a target growth of 7% and a capital output ratio of 5, what savings rate is required? The math tells us Nigeria would need to raise its savings rate to 35% of GDP to achieve 7% growth. This implies a significant need for investment policy reform. Robert Solow introduced technology and productivity as key drivers of long-run growth. Capital accumulation alone cannot sustain growth due to diminishing returns. His production function shows that technology, represented by A, can significantly raise GDP. In our example, technology could raise GDP by $152 billion. Comparing the two, Harrod Domar is useful for investment planning but ignores technology. Solow is richer but assumes technology is exogenous. Nigeria's experience shows institutions matter most. To wrap up, models provide structure, investment must be paired with productivity, and institutions are the final piece of the growth puzzle. In our next session, we will dive into the input-output model and sectoral linkages. I'll see you then. In this session, we move beyond aggregate growth to explore the structural interdependence of an economy using the input-output model developed by Nobel laureate Wassily Leontief. We've seen how aggregate growth models explain savings and productivity. But economies are not just aggregates. They are made up of interdependent sectors. To capture this structure, we use the input-output model. Think of Nigeria's steel industry. Steel is used in construction, manufacturing, and even by the steel industry itself. This model helps planners decide how much output is required to meet total demand. The core equation is X equals AX plus Y. X is total output, A is the matrix of technical coefficients, and Y represents final demand from consumers, investors, and exports. Think of Nigeria's economy as a kitchen. X is the total meals cooked, A is the recipe card for the ingredients needed, and Y represents the hungry customers or final demand. The model assumes each industry produces one homogeneous product with a fixed recipe of inputs. While it simplifies reality, it forces clarity on structural relationships. In Nigeria, oil dominates GDP but has weak linkages. IO analysis identifies sectors with strong multipliers, like agriculture feeding into food processing and textiles. Looking at this simplified table, we can see how agriculture and industry provide inputs to each other. To produce 1 unit of industry output, we require specific inputs from agriculture. To find the required output, we use the Leontief inverse. In a two-sector economy, if final demand is set, this math tells us exactly how many units each sector must produce to balance the system. The model's strength lies in its ability to guide industrial policy and diversification. However, it is static and assumes coefficients remain fixed, ignoring technological change. To summarize, the input-output model is a powerful tool for structural planning, helping us move from oil dependency toward a more diversified and linked economy. Let's look at a simplified input-output table for Nigeria. In this matrix, we see how the output of one sector becomes the input of another. For instance, the agricultural sector provides 50 worth of its own output as an internal input, while supplying 150 to the industrial sector. Industry, in turn, provides 100 to agriculture. This structural mapping is the foundation of Leontief's analysis. To make this table useful for planning, we calculate technical coefficients. The coefficient AIJ represents the amount of sector I's output required to produce 1 unit of sector J's output. For example, to produce 1 unit of industrial output in Nigeria, we require 0.30 from agriculture and 0.50 from industry itself. These recipes tell us how resources flow through the system. Now, we move to the core Leontief equation. X equals the inverse of 1 minus A times D. By subtracting the technical coefficient matrix from the identity matrix, we define the net requirements of the economy. This allows planners to solve for the total output required to satisfy any specific level of final demand without creating shortages. Let's walk through a worked solution for a two-sector economy. Given our technical matrix, we first find the determinant, which is 0.36. Multiplying the inverse by our target demand of 100 for agriculture and 150 for industry, we find that agriculture must produce 264 units and industry 458 units to keep the economy in balance. It is crucial to ensure that our solutions are economically feasible. The Hawkins-Simon condition guarantees that our system produces non-negative outputs. Essentially, it ensures that the direct and indirect requirements of a sector do not exceed the total capacity of the economy to produce them. If this condition isn't met, the planning model is mathematically sound but physically impossible. Now, let's look at a practice exercise tailored to Nigeria's two-sector economy. With inputs and outputs defined for agriculture and industry, your task is to calculate the technical coefficients, build the A matrix, and solve for total output X, given a final demand of 140 for agriculture and 200 for industry. The solution reveals our technical matrix A and the resulting total output requirements of 300 for agriculture and 502 for industry. Notice how the outputs match our original totals. This confirms that the Leontief model perfectly balances inter-industry demand with final supply, a vital check for any national planner. Take a moment to test your understanding with this quick quiz. Can you define what an input coefficient represents? Or interpret why we subtract the A matrix from 1? These concepts are not just mathematical abstractions. They are the tools used to diagnose structural bottlenecks in an economy like Nigeria's. In our Nigeria case study, we compare agriculture against the oil sector. The coefficients show that oil dominates demand, while agriculture remains secondary in terms of linkages. For planning, this implies a critical need to rebalance investment to strengthen the domestic multipliers in our agricultural value chain. Finally, consider a reflection on vulnerability, an oil demand shock. If global demand for Nigerian oil drops by half, our model shows a total collapse in oil output, while agriculture cushions the blow only slightly. This is the strongest mathematical argument for diversification. We must reduce our structural vulnerability to external shocks. To summarize our board work, the input-output model is unparalleled in capturing structural interdependence and guiding industrial policy. However, we must remain aware of its limitations. Its static nature and reliance on fixed coefficients mean it cannot easily account for innovation or rapid technological shifts. Accurate data is the fuel that makes this model run. Thank you for joining me for this session on the input-output model. Keep practicing these calculations, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson on project appraisal. In session 3, we will explore project appraisal techniques, including cost-benefit analysis and net present value. See you then.
Mm.